Welcome to the next video in our slow circumnavigation of the UK.
We tell the story of my near miss, and we actually sail across a complete chart from Ramsgate via Eastbourne into Brighton.
And in Eastbourne we survive a thunderstorm, big thunderstorm, and we celebrate my birthday in style. And then we potter off Beachy Head waiting for the tide to change.
And we blast into Brighton in 25 knots. So please enjoy this video. Hi, I'm standing beside this green one, but it was the red one in the story. Coming out of Ramsgate, pitch black, couldn't see a thing. Had my eyes on lights in front of me. I just happened to glance to my left, and about 4 or 5 feet away from me was a big red one of these, with the top was solid. And if we'd have hit that, God knows what would happen. And apparently Paul said I went white. I'm not surprised.
Well, the chart plot actually shows that the mark should be on our starboard side, but it wasn't.
Next time, I should be watching the chart a bit more, rather than trying to look where I'm going. If we'd have hit this, we'd have done a bit of damage.
That's us underway to Eastbourne. So it's a moonlit night tonight. We've got the sails up, and yes, it's a lovely night. Not too much sea. We're coming up on Dover shortly. So that's just dawn as the sun comes up. We're just nearly off Dungeness Head now. That's Dungeness Head just in the distance there. So this is our little pilot berth here. Feet go under there, and you know, there's pillows and things. And then we have what's called a lee cloth here, which is tied up to the ceiling strong points. When it just stops you rolling around, you're very comfortable in there. You can get yourself wedged in, and you can get a little bit of shut-eye, which we've been doing on this night passage. So as expected, the wind's picked up. We've got 20-25 knots of wind. The sea state is much more pronounced, very sharp waves. So the tide is against us and also against the wind. So it makes the wave conditions quite bouncy. But we're rattling along at 6 knots, so we'll get into Eastbourne just about as predicted, I think. How was your night passage?
Well, it started off fairly hairy.
Yeah.
But now it's nice.
Yeah, it's just quieting down a bit.
Nice and surfing.
Yeah, we were from.
On a nose.
So we're getting into Sovereign Harbour, it's called, isn't it?
Yep.
Shortly.
It's in front of us. About another 5 miles to go yet.
Okay. Rough passage upwind if you're going upwind today. It's not pleasant at all. See how bouncy it is for him. He's got his mainsail up, and he's obviously under motor as well. Sound to me. Taking a real smash in there. Okay, so this is the entrance to Eastbourne Sovereign Marina. There is a fairway buoy, and then there are some greens to the right, the starboard side, and also some yellow isolated danger or cardinal buoys. Quite a rolly entrance today because of the swell. A couple of boats have come out and gone back in, obviously too much for them. That's the fairway buoy. A boundary entrance into here. once we get clear of the next red marker, it should be okay. Okay, that's tied alongside in Eastbourne Marina. It's quite tricky getting in this berth. The wind was blowing from this side, from the port side. So to get in here, we were getting blown onto this, and there wasn't a lot of gap in there, and not a lot of space to turn behind there and come back in. But so you had to kind of angle in from here, poke the nose in, and then swing in. Well, Mary made it fine. So there are a couple of locks to get in here. They let you in, adjust the water level, and they'll let you out into the berthing area. Quite a straightforward process. So last night was a long sail. Overnight we set off about, we got up about 12:30 and set off about 1 in the morning. So we sailed south from Ramsgate down through the Goodwin Sand Channel and the Downs, so down through the Goodwin Fork, and we were looking at South Foreland in the dark, and we came across the ferry routes off Dover, so we have to call them and get permission to cut across there. Didn't really have any problems. We saw 3 or 4 ferries in and out, well, nothing moving that would affect us anyway. And then we came across Hythe Bay, I think it's Hythe Bay, down here, pretty much a straight line. It was fairly light conditions, so we had the donk running, we had the engine running. We got off Dungeness, which is the tide gate here really. The tide from the North Sea sloshes down this way and comes out, and the tide from the Channel sloshes and comes this way. So you get a strange change of pattern from one side to the other. And we came down across Rye Bay, just again pretty much a straight line. Dodged the edge of 4 Fathom Sand Ridge because it was starting to, the wind was starting to pick up here, and the waves and the tide were against us at this point, so we had quite lumpy seas, but the boat was, we were going with the wind, so it wasn't really much of a problem. Turned the corner here at 4 Fathoms Sand and then made our way. There's not really any problems in here. It is quite shallow in some places, but we just dodged the edge of these shoals and then came in onto the entrance to Sovereign Harbour, where there's a fairway buoy and then a buoyed channel, and it was a bit rolly coming in, but nothing particularly difficult. We weren't rigged at that point for the lock, so we had to sort of dither a little bit to get lines and fenders out and things ready, because it was too rolly to do that on deck before we came in. So basically we passed along a complete navigation chart in a day, or in one sail. So 61 miles I think we were in total, and yeah, we've not done that before. So we'll be exiting out the back of here and around Beachy Head, the famous Beachy Head, next time we sail. So not a difficult day navigationally, pretty much straight lines to the corner of Dungeness, and nothing really to try and avoid apart from the traffic at Dover, which is kind of renowned as being very, very busy. And we were lucky, we crossed those lanes early in the morning. There weren't really many people moving around. One little vessel was trying to get into Dover. I think he was waiting to dodge between ferries as he went in. But we just crossed over, called them on Channel 7-4 and told them of our intentions and asked permission to cross, and they said yes, maintain your course and speed, and you will see you, type of thing. So that was pretty easy. And then we got to Dungeness, which I was expecting to be the kind of tide gate. I wanted to get there before the tide changed, and we managed to do that pretty well. We did have the motor on most of that crossing with sails up, but it was rolling and rocking because there wasn't enough wind really to hold the sails open because we were going downwind. But when we turned the corner, the wind started to build gradually as we went across Rye Bay, and by the end it was blowing 25 knots, and we had a kind of reef main, and the Jenny was basically pulling us along. We still had the engine running at that point just to kind of give us a bit of stability when the sails when we went down a wave and the sails died. we just wanted to keep some speed on at that point, so we kept ticking along at that. Very comfortable sail, very enjoyable. Late at night, of course, it's always a bit difficult because you know, you're not kind of all fully kind of there, a little bit dazed, I would say is the main thing. But we split them into 3-hour shifts. Mary and I both got a little bit of shut-eye, so it wasn't too bad. So Sovereign Marina is a purpose-built marina with housing all around it and a whole community built up around it. We came in to the docks here, and then were allocated a berth just down this end of the first marina you enter. And there are even tours of the harbour with a little boat that goes around every day, 2 or 3 times a day. So yeah, quite nice. Our surroundings, very modern. All the facilities are pretty new. It's quite an expensive marina, £50 a night, but you kind of expect that down here. We did have some bad thunderstorms overnight when we were in Eastbourne, so you can see the storm that was actually overhead us. And it was actually my birthday while we were in Eastbourne, so my sons bought me a lovely meal, me and Mary a lovely meal, and we found our way there and had a rather a special seafood type, and Mary had the pork, I think. It was lovely. So what are you having?
I'm having confit Sussex pork belly.
Looks lovely with some mash and everything.
Cabbage, Savoy cabbage and bacon, and a side of sauce.
Excellent. And I'm having this, which is a giant fish platter with everything on it. Looking forward to that. Okay, bye Southern Marina at Eastbourne. Had a nice time there, a lovely marina, very clean, very modern, all the mod cons. Yeah, it was good. This is moving along to Eastbourne, along the beach. So that's Beachy Head over there. Actually reasonable weather at the moment, but I think there's a little bit of rain in the sky. We were supposed to get rain all morning, but seem to have avoided it. A bit of sunshine, which is nice. We will see. Nice to have some sail up. Not quite close hauled, but fairly close. Yeah, boat's performing well. Even in these light airs, we're getting a little bit of speed, which is great. So we just tacked out because there's a dinghy racing fleet, and I couldn't lay clear of them on the tack I was on. I was getting headed. The wind was making me point away from it as we were coming up the bay. So we'll go offshore a little bit and then tack again. Hopefully we can lay Beachy Head. And yeah, we're doing okay. Wasted a bit of time just until the tide changes off there. So we're not going to quite make the corner here at Beachy Head on this tack. I think that's Eastbourne Pier with the golden dome on the top of it. Town looks pretty spectacular from the seaward side. Lots of tall flats and buildings. Obviously a holiday place. You can see we've been headed once again coming around here, so we can only make what we can make. So we'll probably have to put the engine on shortly. So Beachy Head Lighthouse comes into view. We're just tacking offshore again. Getting a bit shallow where we were, and we were beginning to lose the wind, and it was heading us even more. So that's what Beachy Head looks like. Hopefully we'll be around it shortly. So I've had to give in with the sailing. We were making about 4.5 knots, and that wasn't enough really. We need to be doing 6 knots to get down to Brighton and get into the marina there before the tide drops too far. So this is Beachy Head, the big white cliffs and the famous lighthouse. Looks a bit forbidding in this sort of conditions, but it's actually sunny where we are, but I think we're going to be sailing into a little bit of misty cloud by the look of it. Eastbourne and the pier is far away over there now. got one yacht in sailing in, or motoring in company with us. We'll see how he gets on. I don't know what speed he's doing. She's head looking quite forbidding in these sort of conditions, with a bit of cloud and a misty sort of look to it. See the lighthouse quite clearly now. So the local fishermen not only tried to hide their pots, but they also tried to hide themselves. This guy didn't show up on AIS. I guess he was stopping his mates finding out where he was fishing. The windmill on the hill, just east of Brighton. So this is our approach to Brighton. Looks like it's going to be a bit rainy. Our strategy here is to go to the west of the pier and then come back and round the corner. Apparently there's quite a bit of reflection off the harbour wall, and it's quite a tight and difficult entrance, so hopefully all will go well because Mary's piloting us in. Okay, we're approaching Brighton Marina in a bit of a rainstorm. Hopefully you can see this. We're going to go to the west side, which is the port side of the harbour mouth, and come back a little bit and round, because apparently it gets shallow on the starboard side. We can just see a starboard and a port buoy in the entrance. So we're going to stay close to the west pier side, as the east pier side apparently gets salted up. That's a little closer on the entrance. So you can see we're coming in from the more west side of the pier. A bit closer now. We're in 24 feet of water at the moment, so it looks okay. And just as we came around the corner, you can see the red mark here on the port side, so we're going to aim for that. Depth's down to 20 feet. But seems to be holding at 20 feet, so we'll go on the wrong side of the channel effectively, just to make sure we don't touch. Okay, as the entrance turns round, we're still staying to port side, and this is the entrance into the marina. That's us into the harbour entrance proper, and we're due to go on pontoon 10, which is apparently the first pontoon on our left here. So we'll wait and see what that turns up as. There's a catamaran in front of us, I believe. So that's us in Brighton Marina. Not too difficult here. Apparently they have a lot of visitors berths in this area which are being dredged at the moment, so this area where we are has been dredged, and hopefully the dredger will be back during the week to do the rest of it. We're going to stay at least a couple of days because of the weather. So that's the corner you come round, and when you come round you kind of see all this lot in here. So this is pontoon 10 we're on. They're all numbered, numerical numbers, and that's the marina office up there. You just go underneath and up the stairs, and they're very friendly here. Yeah, no problem at all checking in. Yeah, fire certainly made a difference to that, but they've replaced it with this thing. It's run by British Airways. What's it called, Mary?
360, British Airways 360.
360. So I think you go up and get a circle round as it goes up or down.
See the Isle of Wight, but you're not seeing it a lot today.
No, it's a bit poor visibility today. So we're sitting having a cup of tea, or did we have an ice cream?
Ice cream.
Okay. Arts the manufacturing hatter. That's a few years ago. Burton's, the tailor. And this was the reason we stayed a few days in Brighton. The storm came up the channel and gave everybody a real pounding. Hope you enjoyed our latest video and the storms we escaped from.
Please watch for next time for when we do a short trip across to Gosport and again shelter from the bad weather, where we spend our time
climbing the Spinnaker Tower and visiting Warrior, Mary Rose and Victory all in one day.
and we see the poignant place where Admiral Nelson died. and we catch up on the fast net.
Well, we find out what life is like beneath the waves, and we finally make our escape out of the Solent to the west.
So please like, subscribe and share and comment. It's all free, and don't forget to click the bell button for the next video. Bye.
Bye. Well, you'd think we would get better at doing these little video intros and outros, but no, we're still struggling with them. Here's some more outtakes.
Blah 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 blah.
Make sure we get the volume up. Oh, sorry, plenty of smiling. Did I stand on your foot? Yes. We'll smile even so.
Go for a short trot.
Hope you